Welcome back to JB Sports. I'm your host, John the Burden, and today is a normal episode of JB Sports. No wrestling, just back to complete sports because I did miss last week, which I apologize. And I had reasons at home, but there's a lot I didn't want to talk about as well, mostly with the Commanders, but it's all good. We get through it. But first, we're going to go straight into some recent things. Daniel Jones, 160 million 4-year contract gone. He's released. He's still a $20 million cap hit for the Giants, I believe. So that will be kind of a heavy hit for them. But really, I think Daniel Jones, as much as I'd like like to see him become a great player, I don't know if he'll ever do that because I feel like I have even though I'm a Commanders fan, for some reason I find myself rooting for him just because everyone was trash on me like towards ACL and stuff like that. But I could find him maybe getting on another team before the end of the season. There's some funny teams I thought that might happen just because they're, the teams. There's some actual teams I thought. So, really, my top three things being one, well, my top three teams. One, a team that they haven't had any success really with quarterbacks, and I'm not saying Daniel Jones is better than any of these two, but they might just do a 1-year minimum because Daniel Jones is still getting paid because this is like a situation with Russell Wilson where he's getting paid by another team an exorbitant amount to get a vet minimum somewhere. So this could be another one of those situations. One team, I was thinking possibly the Raiders. I know that the Raiders are not the best right now. They're just not working out for O'Connell or Minshew, and they've really lost their wide receiver, the good wide receivers, so that's not going well for them. They have some defensive players still, Crosby's still there. They're not a terrible team. They're not a great team. I don't know if Daniel Jones will help them at all. I don't think he would. Maybe a little bit, but it's just something they might like throw out there like, hey, you're getting paid a lot. Come play with us for the rest of the season. And then, you know, we can figure it out from there if you do good. Next team, I think this would be absolutely comical if it happened, but Daniel Jones to the Cowboys, that would be absolutely hilarious to me. I don't think it'll happen, but that would make Thanksgiving that much more watchable. The game slate there, because the game slate's not the best, I'll say, but that would be absolutely hilarious if you see Daniel Jones in a Dallas Cowboys star jersey. I mean, star helmet. Like I said, I don't think that will happen. I just think that one's pretty just comical because it'd be hilarious. And then the last team I really see is the Jags. For some reason, I just see the Jags to be the type of team that would just pick him up. They already picked the wrong Jones, so they might pick another bad one. I That's really what I'm thinking. Just because Daniel Jones, honestly, I might get hate for this. I don't think he's the worst player ever. I do think he has shown flashes of being good. I'm not saying he's a great player by any means necessary. If you look at the stats, the only time he's really been good is against Washington. But maybe he'll be one of those types where he's good in a different environment like Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield. Like maybe he's one of those types of guys because there's a lot of those guys that are, you know, kind of like that recently. So we'll see if that works. Of course, it's a matter of time. Daniel Jones maybe doesn't play again this season. Maybe he gets picked up next season as a backup and then gets another chance eventually. I don't think he'll be out of the league. I mean, honestly, he got a lot of money. He could just dip and be fine if he don't want to play again or become a coach, but I don't think he's done yet. So we'll see what happens for him. I hope it goes well for him. I hope everything is fine and hopefully can get back on the field. Next, I wanted to talk about the Houston Rockets. We got a 11-5 start. Unfortunately, we did lose one recently to the Bucks, which was kind of heartbreaking because the NBA after the game looked that it looked at the one of the last plays that led to the game winner, and Giannis stepped out of bounds. Of course, everybody knows. I mean, even I guess it's nice to see that he stepped out of bounds or something, but like it's not going to change anything. So it just annoys us kind of a little more if you really look at it. But again, nothing can really get changed. So far, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the team. We're doing pretty freaking good, especially for what we've done the last few years. We're starting to slowly get back up. And speaking about Giannis, there was potentially a trade for him between him and the Rockets, him to the Rockets. A lot of teams were monitoring it. It's a little late on this news, but it's just my take. Um, yeah, so a lot of the teams were monitoring maybe Giannis going to the Rockets, but we did not come to a conclusion because the Rockets were not willing to split up our young core, and I am happy about that. I think homegrown teams, with what I mean by that is teams that draft a lot of the players and they keep those drafted players together to build together to get better together. That's better than just pulling in an old star. I think recently that hasn't worked as much, and Giannis is a great player, and he probably would have helped us a lot. But you never know. I think that just let us grow as a young team. I think we're one of the best young teams in the league. I do think there's people that the best young team I'd probably have to say is the Thunder. I used to say Rockets and I really thought about it, and like the Thunder got a lot of good young players and they're one of the best teams in the league. I mean, they're only one win ahead of us so far this season, but Chet Holmgren got hurt, and again, if you take the Giannis play and we score, we probably win and we'll be just tied with them. But with them being injured, I think it's not really fair to, you know, kind of say, "Oh, we're just as good, we're better." Like we gotta let it like chill because Rockets have been great. Fred VanVleet, great. Jalen Green has been playing way better than he used to play. I think the kid really stepped him up. Torrey Eason doing really good. Eamon Thompson. Eamon Thompson has been great. I'm so happy to see him finally like breaking through that little, young barrier, the rookie barrier that he was in. I think he was doing fine last year, but this is really going to be a breakout season for him. He's starting to really show off. This team is just really clicking on all cylinders. Like the Rockets are one of the next teams up, honestly. We I think we'll make the playoffs this year. I don't know if we'll go really far because we're still, like I said, a young team. So pretty inexperienced in the playoffs. I think the only one with playoff experience, of course, Van Vliet, Jeff Green, Steven Adams, the ones that really come to mind. Dylan Brooks has some playoff experience, but it's Dylan Brooks at the end of the day. Like, eh, do you really care that much? But yeah, Rockets doing great so far. Love what we're doing. I love that we're winning. We're working well as a team. We're staying mostly away from injuries. That's a big thing I had. I hated when Alfred Sengun got injured last year because it did hurt us a lot. So we're working, we're clicking. Keep that up. Surprisingly, Reed Shepard, he's doing all right. But I thought he was going to be probably one of the best rookies in the league this year. So far, Jared McCain has been an absolute dog. I mean, to be fair, he the team is 2-11. So it's not like the record is amazing. You had Joel Embiid call out someone who leaked it. I'll talk about that in a minute, but 15 points, almost 16. He's averaging 15.6, 2.1 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and almost a 50 field goal. It's fun to see him. I did not know if he was going to be that good. I thought he was going to be kind of mid, but you can't attribute it to, Paul George hurting himself every 5 minutes, Joel Embiid not being good right now. Tyrese Maxey is only the other one that's like kind of been good, but he's been hurt. So Jared McCain, great for him. Happy for him. Keep up the stuff. But Joel Embiid, my thoughts on this. So it was said that Tyrese Maxey called out Embiid at a team meeting, saying one of the reasons they're struggling is because Embiid is always missing team meetings. He's always just like not there. He's not involved, and you can see like the team's been really bad. It's not been great this year. You can kind of see where that can be a problem because on any team it's a problem. You got to show up for stuff. And Joel Embiid decided to say, whoever leaked that is, you can finish the sentence. But you're missing meetings. You're not there, like what Tyrese Maxey said. And maybe just maybe the reporter wouldn't have had to leak something like that if you actually showed up. Maybe the reporter wouldn't have to do that if you guys were doing good. So 76ers are imploding from the inside. Joel Embiid is not getting along. He's been very off the season. I don't. He was MVP. What was it 2 years ago? 1 year ago? Like something's not going well. So it sucks that the 76ers are having troubles because I have a lot of friends that are 76ers fans and I feel bad, but your team's imploding. I'm sorry. It's time to move on from the process and trust a new process because sometimes the first process is not working. So you got to do something new. I thought the 76ers were going to be pretty good because you had Tyrese Maxey, you had Paul George, you had Joel Embiid, and it just has not worked, unfortunately, for them. But speaking of teams who have not been working so well recently, my Washington Commanders didn't get to talk about the last two games because I did miss last Friday. One game, I blame it fully on Benjamin St. Juste. I know other people had problems in that game, but the Steelers, I fully blame that loss on Benjamin St. Juste. 100%. I'm sorry. Like I said, other players could have done a little better. Javon Newton, he's a rookie. I kind of give him a pass for jumping, but he still shouldn't be. But Benjamin St. Juste might be one of the worst cornerbacks I've seen play in my life. Two touchdowns he let up in that game, I think, or before that. Going into the Eagles game, he had 5 pass interference calls in the last 5 games. That's one per freaking game. It was two against, I think, the Bears, something like that, in one game. But like, he's just been so bad. You're so like, I get it. Lattimore's not here. He's still healing from his little hamstring, which is fine. Honestly, my opinion on that is let Lattimore rest, but I'll get into that. It's just like we have him on Pickens. It's not going well. Okay, move him off of that, right? We put him on Mike Williams, who has not been amazing this year. Who's not who he used to be on the Chargers. He's slower, but he's bigger, and that's what Benjamin St. Juste is. That's the person we expect him to guard well, or somewhat well, because he's an NFL cornerback. And I'm not saying I can go in there. I'd be worse than him, but as a player wise in the NFL, dude is like he got burnt by Mike Williams. Mike Williams. And of course, the offense could have done a little better. I think we did as good as we can. Defense did pretty good, and then just Benjamin St. Juste happened. Not gonna talk more on it because I'll go into a full rant. Benjamin St. Juste is turning into the new Emmanuel Forbes in my head right now because Emmanuel Forbes hasn't been playing. So like I just don't get how bad it is. Next game, the best cornerback in that game for the Commanders was Mikey Sancho against the Eagles. I don't. He kind of locked up that game. I'm gonna be honest. Batted down two and batted down, broke up 2 touchdown passes, and he was just a dog. Mikey Sancho is one of the steals of the draft. I don't care what anyone says. He is a certified dog. He just got a Nike deal after that because Nike was like, oh, listen, this guy, he's good. So he got signed to a Nike deal. Congrats to him. But yeah, against the Eagles, Mike Sancho was an absolute dog. He was everywhere. Broke up 2 touchdown passes, was talking trash to A.J. Brown. Like, you know, Mikey Sancho basically said after the game, we don't know what he should have said. He should have walked up to Manuel Forbes and be like, hey, Forbes, this is how you play as a rookie. You lock him up. Like, if you look at Emmanuel Forbes' first game against the Eagles and second game compared to this game, it's crazy. So Mikey Sancho just basically solidified himself as a starting corner. I mean, he was already solidified, but pretty much 100% at his spot in cornerback. Like, he's going to be so good for us the next few years. Love little Mikey Sancho, whatever. I call him little Mike. So That was some good spots. Jaden Daniels, it's been a little rough recently. They say he's not injured, but I don't think that means he's not battling with some pain. He said, like, the pads were for warmth, which, if anyone knows the weather down in DC and anywhere, like in Maryland and like Pennsylvania, you know that the pad is not going to keep you warm. So you don't got to lie to us. I think he's still dealing with pain, but it is what it is. He can come back better. He can come back stronger, and he can just do what he does. I think he's going to be fine. I think he will definitely come back to the role he was before the Panthers. I think he needed full practices. Like, by the time I think he got injured versus the Panthers in the Eagles game, it was something like 4 whole practices he practiced in that whole like span, which is bad. It's very bad. So he's getting his full practices in. He's probably feeling healthier than he ever has with this mini bye, I guess. And I think he's gonna be fine. I was a little worried, but then I'm like, listen, he's a rookie. I do think our success kind of got to my head. I'll be completely honest. As a Washington fan, we were bad for so long. I think the success got to my head a little bit. So those games really kind of humbled me and brought me back down. And I remember that we're a young team and we have a rookie quarterback. So that was kind of good for that to happen. Not for us really, because I want us to win, but it was good mentally for us, I think. And the next game, Cowboys on Sunday. Listen, Dak's out. They don't have any really weapons. I think CeeDee Lamb might be out. There's a chance he's out. You know, tight ends out. Like, all their guys are injured. This is a bounce back game for us where we have to let's get stuff clicking again. Let's be almost perfect. Let's beat them by double digits. Like, this is a must win game. I'm gonna be honest. It's a must win game because we lost to the Eagles, so now we're not number one in the division. That's another thing that kind of woke me up again. But yeah, we gotta wake up. Like, you gotta wake up against the Cowboys. Their second and third string quarterback, Cooper Rush playing terrible. Trey Lance not playing too well. I think Trey Lance should get more of a chance, but I don't know what Dallas is gonna do because they're kind of a little stupid. No offense, Cowboys fans. Don't yell at me, please. I don't really care. Bring the smoke, whatever. Um, but yeah, I think Commanders must win. Dane Daniels, get everything back in gear. Cliff, get everything back into gear. Defense, easy game for them. Let them rust up. They wouldn't have against 2 really hard teams, 2 of the top 10 teams in the league, back to back with very little rest. So we're gonna get back into this, and I'm calling it. We're gonna beat the Cowboys by double digits, and everything is gonna go back to normal. Especially because our whole line, I think, for the first time this season, was all healthy for a practice. So that's great. Brian Robinson, oh, he's back. He said he's feeling really good. So keys to win this game: Jaden Daniels, ring it back in, put them nerves down, go back to the beginning of the season confidence. Just get back. Know you can run, know you can pass, and just get the accuracy back, what it looks like he's doing, and we'll be fine. Give the ball to Brian Robinson. Their defense is very weak this year. They have some injuries on that side too. Like Bland, I think, was on the 21-day IR thing. He might be back, but just rope everything back. Brian Robinson, just run on them. And defense, just do what you do. I'm not too scared of their offense. CD, if he's playing, might be a little scary, but their offense has been really bad with Cooper Rush and Trey Lance, so we'll be fine. And then things we can't let happen: look stupid. That's really the thing we can't let happen. We can't look stupid. And one thing we can't let happen is not give the ball to Terry. I don't know what happened in these last 2 games. Give the ball back to Terry, please. That's all. Just give it back to him. I don't care. Give it to him. That's really it. We do good at like moving the ball around and stuff, but Terry's our star. Please give it to Terry. And then moving to the last thing I want to talk about, the most mid and overrated undefeated team, probably the worst undefeated team in NFL history until then. You can argue with me. I don't care, Chiefs fans. You guys were not that. I'm going to be honest. You guys weren't amazing. Your wins weren't amazing, but you know what? They'll fight me. I don't care. But the Buffalo Bills has ended the Kansas City Chiefs winning streak. Josh Allen, you are amazing. I love watching Josh Allen play. He's really fun to watch. he cooked. I mean, he did have that one interception, and things got a little risky sometimes, but he played really well. Patrick Mahomes, Kermit the Frog, he played bad. 2 interceptions through the game, losing interception. So I was I was really happy to see the Chiefs lose. I don't like the Chiefs. I'll be honest. You can say I'm a Chiefs hater, which I I guess I am. I don't know. Worst undefeated team in history. One of the worst. Baltimore, they got lucky. The toe was out of bounds. Cincinnati, bad call. I think they did like a pass interference call. Literally, that happened one of the next weeks with the Chiefs calls again. They didn't call anything. Falcons, bad play calling. Chargers, bad call. Saints, you whooped on them. I'll give you that. San Francisco kind of whooped on them. Yeah. Las Vegas whooped on them. Tampa Bay, just because the Buccaneers didn't go for it, got lucky there. Denver, probably the luckiest, a field goal that you blocked, and then of course you lost to Buffalo, Chiefs fans. Yeah, but pretty much they got lucky on a lot of those wins, and I know you know what, Chiefs fans, say whatever you want. I don't care. I'm gonna say you guys are one of the worst undefeated teams in history until you lost to the Bills, and that's just my opinion. I do think you got lucky a lot of times. I think a lot of times you got bailed out. Patrick Mahomes hasn't really been that good this season. I'm gonna be honest. Travis Kelce, he's been increasing both seasons, so that's just my opinion. I think you guys got lucky in a lot of these games, and a lot of calls were for you. But that's been happening a while these last few seasons. So, and after that, not much more. I said what I had to do about the Cowboys game. Commanders, you gotta win it, and that's just a fact. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Wrestling pay-per-views coming up soon. So any wrestling fans who may be watching this, I will have a prediction video. There are more things I'll talk about before that. And thank you guys for watching, and bye. Subscribe.